Alrighty, so it's 2005 S4 4.2 V8 passenger side head. I'm just showing what it would take to get the rocker arms out without removing the engine. I obviously have it completely disassembled right now, but I reinstalled the exhaust valves here, rocker arm, shaft, and camshaft, and the main camshaft cap here, just kind of for illustration. So the first thing you have to do is actually remove this here. It's actually keyed in there a certain way to where the bolt hole, you can only put this together one way. This is actually the bolt out of the camshaft is what's holding it in there. So pull this out. I stuck it into the center, used a pry bar, pop this out. This slides forward. As it slides forward, then you gain access to the rocker arms, depending on which one it is. You have to pull the whole front end of the car off to get this out. But either way, and then these will come out. However, the main cap and then also your main cam bearing caps. Let's see. Goes here, so they sit right on here, and you're probably gonna have to pop these bolts loose here to gain a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of access here. Once you can get this cap up a little bit, this moves in here a little bit and these will pop right out. So you very well might be able to get something down in there to compress the valves ever so slightly to get these rocker arms out without removing the camshafts. Kind of wiggle it, get it down in there, slide it into place. However, with the camshaft completely bedded, seated all the way down, it applies a little bit of spring pressure to the top of this. The bearing here on the rocker arm runs on this cam lobe all the time and provides just enough tension that will make it a complete son of a bitch to get this in there with it under tension. So you might be able to do it. Will be a pain in the ass regardless. But as I was saying, the main caps here are the bearings. As you can see, the hash marks in there. And they just sit down in there, and when all this is pulled off of here, as you can see right here, that's the other half of the bearing. There's no inserted regular bearing like on a main bearing for an engine. It's literally, this is your bearing here, and it's the same for all of them. These are torque to yield bolts. Definitely don't want to reuse these. I snap those off in there, you won't have a very good day. But either way, pop this main cap off of here. And as long as you get just enough play in your camshaft here, your rocker arm should slide right out of there. Your intake valves are half the size of your exhaust valves. There are 4 exhaust rocker arms and 4 intake rocker arms. The intake camshaft has 2 lobes, one for each of these, and it presses down onto the 3 valves. So what I was talking about with the rocker arms is these little movable deals right here. So they're spring pressure on the inside. It's got a spring that's built up into there, but they're also oil pressure driven, in that oil pressure will help push this out to create that contact with the valve. And on the inside of there, like I said, there's 3 little holes that coincide with these 3 holes on the shaft. And in the very end, in here, there is an oil hole that supplies oil to this hole on the end of the shaft, which supplies it through these holes into the rocker arms and keeps the oil pressure there. So without removing the camshaft, as it sits directly above the valves, it's going to be really hard to get anything down in there to compress those. You might be able to push right on the top of them. Don't know if you're going to be able to get them in and out with a tiny bit of pressure that the camshaft actually puts onto it. Being right here, as you can see, the constant wear around the lobes and the constant wear around that lobe bearing right there. Alrighty, hope this helps.